I'm Jandy, a Charlie book fanatic, and today I'm going to do the A to Z Bookish survey tag. I was tagged by Joss over at Scribbles Reads, and I will link her channel down below. And this tag was actually created by someone over at a blog, and that blog is Perpetual Page Turner. So let's dive straight in, shall we? The first one, I have my laptop before me again because I'm not good with memory, and yeah, I just read these things off of my laptop. A. Author you've read the most books from. For this one, I was in a bit of doubt because I didn't know if I wanted to pick the next English author on my list, because I read the most books by a Dutch author and I have an English channel, as you all know. But for this one, I decided to pick the Dutch author, which is Francine Oomen. And I read 12 books by her, which is a lot, but it's all from one series, I believe. She has a really long series of books, which is called Hoe Overleef Ik. That was a bit of English, did you hear that? Who? Okay. But yeah, I decided to pick her, but I'm not going to explain further because the English watchers, which are incidentally most of my viewers, don't have any advantage with that. Best sequel ever. For this one I chose That One Summer, which is a book by Duggan, and the third book in the Summer series by her. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's a third book in a series, but it's an absolutely amazing series about, I talk about this a lot on my channel, sorry guys, but it's an absolutely amazing series about all of these girls in a place called Onslow. It takes place in Australia, which I forget constantly when I read these books, but they're really cute, they're really summery, amazing books. They're new adult books, but there's not too much sex in them. There's a lot of sexual tension, but a lot of fun things, and all of the characters in all of these books actually know each other. So they're like a really tight-knit group of friends, and it's really lovely. I can't recommend this series enough, so if you are looking for a new adult series to read or to start with, to delve into the new adult genre, I would really recommend the Summer series by C.J. Duggan. Currently reading? Well, that's quite a lot. First of all, I'm reading 4 books. One of them is a physical book, the rest of them are ebooks. The first book is I'll Give You the Sun by Jenny Nelson. This is a Dutch copy, that's because you can't read this. But I'm quite far in this, like this is the end, so I'm doing quite well. I'm really enjoying it. At first I thought, what is this book? But now I'm really enjoying it and I'm loving the characters in this book, so I can actually recommend this to you if you're looking for an LGBTQ read, because there's a gay character in this, and yeah, lovely. I'm also still reading since November The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn series by Sanderson. I'm also reading an e-arc of Daughter of Sand and Stone by Libbie. This book actually already came out on December 1st, but it's really good. It's historical fiction, and yeah, I could recommend that as well already. And I'm also reading a bit of poetry, which is You Get So Alone at Times That It Just Makes Sense by Charles Bukowski. Drink of choice while reading. Well, I actually don't drink, or yeah, while reading I actually put my book away and then get a drink because I'm a spiller, like a really huge one. But if I have to choose, I'm going to go with Coca-Cola because I am in love with Coca-Cola or hot cocoa. E-reader or physical book? Well, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of ebooks, so e-reader. Fictional character you probably would have dated in high school. This one I picked out 4 options. The first one is Ringer from the Summer series by C.J. Duggan. He is really cute, bit of a playboy, you know the type. Yeah, that's the kind of guy I would have probably dated. Finch from All the Right Places by Niven. Even though he has bipolar disorder, I still think he is an absolutely lovely person, and I think I could handle that. So he's so good. So I imagine him as being gorgeous. Sawyer from the Superlatives series by Echols. Sawyer is a troubled guy. You see a pattern here, you see it, right? A troubled guy, closed off, not opening up to the world, wants to do everything on his own. Yeah, that kind of guy. All of them are like that, actually. And the last one is Ty from Stolen: A Letter to My Captor by Lucy Christopher. But hear me out, might seem a weird choice, but if I hadn't known he was a kidnapper and he hadn't kidnapped me and I then got to know him, I think I would fall in love with him because closed off, troubled, lovely, gorgeous. You know the drill. You know the kind of guy I fell in love with in high school. Glad you gave this book a chance. For this one I chose Pivot Point by Kasie West, the first book in the Pivot Point duology. I'm not going to read the second book, but this first book, I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I didn't really like Kasie West's other books. They are kind of forgettable to me, but this one was so beautiful. I really recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. It's so good. So good. And both of the guys in this book were actually kind of cute in the beginning, but there's a huge plot twist in the book, guys, huge. But I really like Travis, which is the guy in the alternate timeline where she's living with her father, because there's alternate timelines. But yeah, so good. So good. Hidden gem book. The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. I read this one a while ago, but again, so good. It's about vampires. I really don't like paranormal books anymore, or vampires, but these vampires in this book were so good. And this was one book I really wanted to be a series, but it's a standalone. But still, it has a really satisfying ending, and I think you need to read it because it's beautiful. It's great, amazing. You have to read it. Important moment in your reading life. And for this one I chose the first book series I actually got addicted to, and that was Twilight with Stephenie Meyer. I'm not going to reread these books ever because I will not like them as much as I used to back then, but they really made me addicted to reading, and they made me believe in the power of reading again, and yeah, they had a huge impact on my life back then, but I don't think I would enjoy them now. Just finished Beside Myself by Anne Morgan. It was an e-arc I got from NetGalley, which will come out, I think, January 8th, January 12th. I say it in every video, but I never actually check. But it was really good. It was a thriller, a psychological thriller, and it was frustrating at times, but still beautifully written. Kind of books you won't read, and here's my slogan, never say never, because I think I would actually really read everything. Honestly. Longest book you've read, and for this one I had to check Goodreads, and it is Warbreaker, the first book in the Warbreaker series by Brandon Sanderson. Major book hangover because of Pivot Point by Kasie West. I decided to choose the most recent one, and I can prove this because I read this book in the beginning of December, and I didn't read another book until the end of December, almost New Year. Number of bookcases you own: 1 bookcase with 6 shelves and a lot of ebooks. 1 book you have read multiple times. I don't think I have ever reread a book. Preferred place to read: in bed, obviously. Quote that inspires you, gives you all the feels from a book that you've read. And for this one I chose a quote from Beside Myself by Anne Morgan, and I'll read it to you. And I think sometimes, if I could freeze my life and pick out a moment in the procession of days to go back to and inhabit for all time, I might stop it there. Reading regret. Oh guys, for this one I have a couple again. The first one is Surviving Elite High School, which was the worst book I've ever read, by John H. Ames. Yeah, it was the worst book I've ever read. Not going to say any more about that. Terrible book. Terrible. Don't recommend. Don't read it. Also, Class by Cecily from Ziegesar, the author of the It Girl series, I believe, or the Gossip Girl series. That one was a standalone. Terrible book. Don't recommend. Don't read it. Somehow Wasn't Me by Jessica Verdi. There was a book with a gay camp in it, like a gay curing camp. Don't read it. Don't recommend. No. And Shadows, which was the first novella in the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Didn't like it, didn't want to continue on with the Lux series. Novella turned me off so badly. Won't ever pick another book up in the Lux series. Series you started and need to finish. The Summer series by C.J. Duggan. 3 of your all-time favorite books. Number 1, I have Disreputable History by Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. On number 2, I have Night Film by Marisha Pessel. And on number 3, I have The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. Unapologetic fangirl for Benjamin Elias Sands. And you know that if you watch my videos, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, Benjamin, yes. Ursula Dante, yes. Just yes. Very excited for this release more than all the others. I chose for this one Blue Screen, which is the first book in the Mirador series by Ben Wells. Worst bookish habit, I told you about this a bit. But it's eating and drinking with my books while spilling and crumbling on them. Latest purchase, which is Love and Misadventures by Lang Leave, which is also a poetry book. The Z Snatcher book, the last book that kept you up way late, and for this one I had to go back a bit in my Goodreads. And I chose Night Film by Marisha Pessel because it's amazing. Honestly, this book I can't recommend enough. It's I recommend a lot of books by this. I push you to read them, but you really, it was so good. It was a thriller, and it's honest, it was the first book. It was so long, but it thrilled me all the way through. So good, really. Honestly, I'm not lying to you. I love this, and I would really recommend you check it out, even if you're not a huge thriller fan. This was the A to Z Bookish survey tag, and now I'm going to tag some people for the first time ever. Everyone I'm choosing to tag: Novels and Nonsense, Sam, and I think Kay loves to read. So that was my tag. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy this video? Have you read any of the books I just mentioned? What would you answer to these questions? And if I didn't tag you, you can do this video. I still tag you. So thank you for watching. Let all of this know down below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.